You know, a lot of the times, you know, when you see players, I mean, especially the top pros, Negriano and Helmet and all of that. If they ask you, I mean, how many chips have you got?
Yeah.
You can take it they already know the answer to that.
Oh, yeah, they just want information.
They just want to get the information, so they just want to see if you shit yourself.
Yeah.
So, you know, the best thing to do in those circumstances, you know, when you're playing guys like that, I mean, who are pretty good at getting all those reads, is to never answer them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Henrik's folded there, and he took a while, and we've seen Henrik play quite a lot, and he's been quite quick in most of his actions.
Yeah.
So he must have had a tough decision there. But we haven't seen Andrew get out of line yet, or knowingly get out of line. I mean, hands we haven't seen could have been
good luck, Phil.
Could have had nothing, but.
So as you said, Mike, some of these guys, you know, may have seen what these guys are doing for, you know, when you go into and look at a feature table, you know, obviously a lot of the players would have a much better line on what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Then, you know,
they have a much bigger sample size of what's been going on than we have, anyway.
Even if we had a big sample size, we'd probably get it wrong anyway.
Yeah, true.
Probably get it wrong if you could see the whole card. So Henrik must have
he dropped a
leaded
few
away
there.
100,000 there.
Yeah, more than 100,000, I think. So raise pre-flop, and then it's a chunky. There was a bet on the flop, and then he bet the river. So.
Fold.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the flop bet. So Henrik will be, even though Henrik's got
640,000 there. So you can see it on that screen over there. He's lost nearly 200,000 in that pot. Mario's raised it up. He got his raise right this time.
So he hasn't got the king 4.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how Henrik reacts to this. You know, he's had the chip lead. You know, he probably hasn't been in this position all that often.
No.
And, you know, sometimes if you got 600,000 after having had 100,000, you're buzzing and feel you got everything under control. If you're 600,000 after having had $1 million, you feel like the whole world is against you.
Yeah. He doesn't look too happy. Mario won that one with a raise pre-flop. Nobody wanted to play with him.
Is Mario Irish as well?
It says Italian, I think. You can check on this.
No, it doesn't matter.
Catch it.
Worry about it if he wins another pot.
Yeah.
Fold.
That's the other table.
Fold.
No.
Fold.
I bet you couldn't guess where he's from.
Roscommon. Boyle, to be more specific.
Roscommon, Slovakia. He's from Slovakia.
Fold.
Fion's raised it up this time. So far, no takers.
I know you guys had a lot of online qualifiers. Did anybody qualify from anywhere weird? I think 40 guys qualify in Boyles or something like that.
Between online qualifiers and direct buying on Boyles, yeah, they got 40 players. I don't think they had too many from outside Ireland that won seats, but. Paddy Power sent a player or two. They'd ran one qualifier for us as well, and there was a lot of live qualifiers in clubs. John's going for it here, and an instant call from Fionn. John Hannafy.
Looks like he's got a hand.
So ace 10 for Fionn. What? Queen 7 of diamonds for John. So John Hannafy was at it there.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
Oh, there's a flop for you. Look, he's flopped a queen, and he's got 2 diamonds as well. He's hit the diamonds, but Fionn has the redraw because he's got the ace of diamonds. There you go. Just shows you, doesn't it? We saw Stephen McLean do it earlier. Made a move with the 9-6. Got lucky, and John's done the same.
Well, to be fair.
He got it right there, John. It's better to be lucky than good.
Well, to be fair to John, he fooled me completely.
Yeah.
I mean, he did stick the chips in like
Yeah.
with a great air of confidence, and good luck to him.
Yep. And Ado's moving on to the other table, so they must have lost a player. So
Level 5,000.
we'll need to delete him off our system there.
176.
So Ada won't be too happy about getting taken off the feature table.
No.
It struck me as the kind of guy who'd love that.
All going well. He'll be back on it soon at the final table. It's really unlucky for Fionn there. It was a good call with the ace-10, and he was ahead.
Yeah, it was an excellent call with the ace-10.
You are behind 20,000.
That was an instant call. I wonder if he knows John. They're both Irish.
Well, it could be. 'Cause John did look like a guy that had a hand to me.
Yeah.
Fold.
So off we go again.
Fold.
Ovleen is doing well in his first
Fold.
major event, second day.
Fold.
Been pretty quiet since we rejoined this table. And it's up to Steen, who's the chip leader in the tournament.
45,000.
First time we've seen him in a pot, and he's raising
Fold.
on the button.
Yeah, I'd love to know
Gets
how
through.
he got all those chips.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's got a lot of friends watching back home, so hello to Steen's friends watching back in Belgium. Looks calm and collected, doesn't he? Wonder what he's listening to on his iPod.
The streaming, probably.
We would have got a little smirk. He understands English, so I think if he was listening to the stream, he would have gave it away there, unless he's a real ice cold poker player.
Well, my knowledge of Belgian rock stars is
They have
Good
really good
question.
music festival over there. I was there a few years ago, and I'm going back this summer, called Rock Verto. They have a really good lineup.
Raise.
So they do like
44,000.
music over there. And here's Ovleen from Norway
Re-raise
has
only.
woken up, and Fionn's moved all in.
Fold.
So we
Fold.
could have some
Fold.
action here, because Fionn doesn't have that many chips, I don't think.
Fold.
and the razor's under the gun, I think.
Yep, 84 for Ovleen to call. We did see him get...
Call.
Yeah, I
Under
think.
bet, please.
He's
Yeah, you
calling.
need to show the cards.
Pocket fives against
Are you
ace
call?
10 again. So Fionn needs his ace 10 to do better than it did last time. 2 clubs there. Fionn's got the ace of clubs, but 2 of diamonds on the turn rules out the flush. Oh, and there we go. He hits the ace on the river, so Fionn's doubled up. Pretty standard there, Porriger.
Yeah, I think that was always going to happen.
127 total. Just 100, you have 27 here. 100,000 if you can give me.
You know, I suppose the difference between poker today and and the old-fashioned poker is that the pair of fives would probably
Yeah,
have
that's
folded in
perfect.
the old days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, I remember the year Chris Ferguson won the World Series, and there was a huge pot between him and Jeff Shulman. You know,
Yeah.
with maybe 14 of there were the 2 chip leaders with 14 or 15 players left, and it was like I think Shulman had a pair of 7s and Ferguson had a pair of 6s.
Yeah.
You know, this is back in like 2000 or 2001. And, everybody's wondering how did they get all the money in, with
Yeah.
a pair of 7s against a pair of 6s. Whereas these days, I
Nice.
mean,
Standard,
it's,
isn't it?
it's like 2 royal flushes. It just goes to show you how much the game has evolved.
Yeah, for sure.
And the 6s won, obviously.
I was just thinking that.
Fold.
They flopped a set and the 7s flopped a straight draw. It was,
Mm.
I think it was eventually worth
Raise,
1.5 million to
44,000.
Ferguson.
Fold.
And if you add that to the 40 million he stole from Full Tilt, he should have quite a lot of money.
Yeah, he's completely disappeared now, hasn't he? You don't see him or Howard Lederer around anymore.
Lederer shows up now and again in the Bellagio, I think. I think Lederer showed up in the area, and there was a petition from the players or something saying that if he was going to play, they weren't.
All right. And you can understand the reaction to that, because that was quite a shocking situation. You didn't expect it from such a big company, did you?
No. Well, I was playing with Greenstein and Negriano in Paris a few months ago, and Greenstein was saying that the way Full Tilt was run under the old management, that it was like they had all the smart guys in the background and the janitor was running the company. It's a very Greenstein-like comment.
Yeah. So Henrik's getting back in the action. He still doesn't look very happy, does he, Borg, now? Losing those few chips.
He didn't look all that happy when he had all the chips, in fairness.
Fault.
John thinks twice about making another move.
Fault.
And Henrik's raise gets through.
You know, it's only a small pot for Hendricks. He's only won the blinds and the antes, but sometimes these small pots can be very good for the morale.
Yeah, no, it's a
momentum changer. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
because Henrik was nearly down to, had lost most of his own stack, and now he's just playing with Stephen McLean.
Fault.
To be fair to Stephen, he played the most spectacular poker we've seen here all day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Most creative, most aggressive.
Raise 48,000.
John's raised it up, and Andrew's going to take him on.
I think we've seen Andrew call a raise before the flop and then pass to
A ship,
squeeze.
We raise all in.
And that's what Mario's doing.
That's okay. Fault. Fault. Fault.
So what's John going to do? What does he think about Andrew flat calling behind him? It always makes it difficult, doesn't it, in this situation when you've the pre-flop, unless you've obviously got the goods. But if you're in the middle hand, it's like.
Well, he will be thinking that that Andrew has done this before and then folded to the shove, so it's a little easier.
Yeah.
Cards, thank you.
Well, John's
It's called.
Yep. He actually moved all in as well over the top. So Queens against Ace King. Well, they were always going in that situation, weren't they? Oh, they both hit. John hits his queen. I'd say swings and roundabouts, because John lost with his kings to queens, didn't he? Now he's won a 1 million chip pot with the queens.
Probably moved into second in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And all the chips now. There's 3.2 million chips in those 3 seats.
Well, it's kind of funny
It's
the way
nearly
the
half
table,
the
it
chips
actually looks like it's leaning over this
Yeah.
way, doesn't it?
361.
I know, yeah, it was so funny. I'm sorry, it was really funny.
Here we go.
It was. It's just the way you went, yo! It was amazing, the game.
So it wasn't actually a million chip pot. The system can be a bit funny there. It counted Mario's extra chips because he was all in when it showed the pot size. But just over 800,000 for John, so that's a nice position to be in.
So Mario owes him 200,000.
Yeah.
And Mario seems to take it quite well. He's having a bit of a laugh with Andrew down in the corner there.
I never get it when, in situations like that with the ace-king against queens, the players that really blow off when they lose a race. It's like you're going to lose half of them You've done nothing wrong.
Just get used to it.
Yeah. I think one of the only things I think the best thing about my own poker game, which I don't play very often, and I'm not that good, is that kind of thing is not blowing up at the table. It's about the only thing I learnt to do really well.
You know, like over a lifetime, these races are supposed to even
Fault.
out. Though they never tell you when they're going to even out. You know, if you lose a big race in the middle of the World Series, you know, how long are you going to have to live before that one's going to?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to figure itself out. Unless you're rolling the wolf, and it's probably going to be next week. I think he won 493 consecutive races.
He did have a good run for a while there, didn't he? Was he the first Triple Crown winner?
Yeah.
Don't see him much anymore. Or I've not seen his name in any headlines or anything. Does he still play, or?
He's playing a cash game in London. Pretty lively cash game.
Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham might be in it. A few guys with a whole bunch of money. Always good for a game.
Fold. Fold.
You know, Mike Sexton did say it was never a good game, but if that didn't involve either a drug dealer or a bank robber. No, I'm not saying that particular game in London does, but it's always good to have a guy with a whole bunch of money who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Fold.
Steen wins that one from the small blind with a raise. I think that's John's 8-3.
You're right.
John's looking like a rather happy camper here, isn't he?
Yeah, good. He's a nice guy, John. I hope he does well in this.
You're anti, please.
I haven't looked up his results, but he has played quite a few of our events, and I don't recall him making a final table before.
Probably means you won one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it doesn't rule out the possibility.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No.
Fold.
I feel like I have double upcoming.
Fold.
I feel short.
Fold.
400,000 is not much. No.
Fold.
Huh? Nearly 400 is not much. What's the average?
We might get Albie to fix that camera
Nice.
angle, because it does look like the table is sliding down off the floor into the sea.
Raise. 90,000. Fold.
And John's raised it up to 90. Blinds haven't gone up, have they?
Which is
No,
46,000 to call. So
Yeah, Steen must have raised,
Call.
so that's why John's raise looks like it so much. Pay more attention, Michael.
it's okay, I'm here.
2 players.
We haven't really seen Steen doing anything.
No, he's won a couple of pots pre-flop, but we
Sorry.
haven't seen him do anything on the flop or get in anything big, really. And it's John to speak first.
I think they're saying, do you want to check it down?
Bet. 60,000.
Yep. John's having none of it. He's not scared of all those chips that Steen's got in front of him.
Fold.
And Steen folds, so
You need to show
Flash to king, I think.
yeah.
all the players. Thank you.
King Queen.
Frisky enough re-raise with his stack, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Against the chip leader.
King Queen suited, Porg.
Oh, yeah. I suppose it, it must look like a monster when Queen Seven's your bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly. No, come on, the Queen 7 was suited as well.
So I like this. There's a lot of guys playing with no fear.
Yeah, it's good. And there's only 7 on the table now, so it's almost short-handed.
Fold.
It's such a great ad for Irish poker. This, you know, this is our amateurs, and they're banging away,
Yeah.
behaving themselves absolutely
Yeah.
impeccably.
There we go. The ship straightened.
Raise.
That was that potty one. Just brought the table back down there.
56,000. Fold, fold, fold.
Fion's the one that's raised it up here, and it's down to Andrew in the small blind,
Fold.
and Mario's in the big blind. And Mario can't have that many chips left after losing that big pot, has he? If we ask nicely, we might get the chips displayed on the screen. Yeah, 162,000, so less than 10 big blinds for Mario.
And this, please.
No, again, 4 out of the 7 are below average stack. Just really screwed it up with that big 3 chip stacks on the right hand side of the table.
Fold.
Yeah, there's 3 final table stacks there, and or 2 final table stacks, and 1 really good final table stack.
Yeah.
Raise 55,000. Fold, fold, fold.
And Mario's going. Looks like he has a decision here.
Yeah, well, he's got less than 10 big blinds, so kind of widens the range that he's going to call with there, does it? Is he so low?
Yeah.
Fold.
And more chips go over that side of the table. We've got 14 left. There's 7 on the other table as well.
Fold.
There's 2 Swedes and a Dutch guy on the
Raise
other table, and 4
Fold.
more Irish. So
Fold, fold.
And it looks like advantage to
over.
foreigners at the moment.
Chips, please.
yep.
Some of your chips, please. Fold.
And the country's in enough shape, bad enough shape without that happening.
According to this, that can't be right. Luke Daly's got 15 million chips on the other table. I think somebody's.
Well, you'd have to fancy his chances.
Yeah, I think somebody might have mistyped that.
Total.
I think he may have 150,000.
359,000.
If he's got 15 million chips, we better go and check his toilet.
Find the other 2 million.
Call. All in a call in the red.
Okay, so
Can you see them, guys?
Steen and Olvin,
Pocket eight.
war
Nine.
between Belgium and Norway.
Who cares who wins?
Well, at the moment, it's looking like Norway. There we go. Double up for Ovlin, and that evens the chip stacks out a little bit. I think Steen's still well in the lead, though.
359. That's your change. Here, then, just please. Here, Auntie, please.
Where's next for you then, Porig? You got any more tournaments lined up in the next few weeks? Or just back to Paris and relax?
Back to Paris for the cash game. And then the UK IPT, the Irish Open, and nothing else until Vegas.
You'll be in Vegas for the whole 6 weeks, I presume?
I haven't missed a day of the World Series since 1996. I'm a really sick bastard. I just fell in love with the World Series when I walked in the door in Binions.
Yeah.
And, I arrive a day or two before it starts, and I usually leave a day or two after I get knocked out of the main event. And that's it.
Yep. And it's Gold Coast as usual. So you stay there, don't you?
Yeah, I have the last few years. I like it. It's real. It's you know, if you remember why you're there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're staying in a luxury suite somewhere, you know, for 300 a day, you convince yourself you're a big shot. You don't need the money. If you're staying in the Gold Coast, I mean, well, there's a great little Irish community in the Gold Coast last year.
Yeah.
The little breakfast club. No, Ivan Donaghy and Lecky were there, and
Raise all in.
So all in from Mario. Yeah, that year me and Tom Murphy went over. The Gold Coast was our home for a couple of weeks. My first experience of Vegas.
Fault.
Fergal was there.
Fergal Nealon.
Yeah, he used to breakfast with the boys every morning. It was great crack.
Fault.
So Mario gets his all in through. They still do steak and eggs for like $8 or something for breakfast, isn't there? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good value.
TGIFs is there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of the old coffee shop, but it's a girl called Catty works the morning shift behind the bar there, who's an absolute live wire. It's great crack. You end up having breakfast for about 3 hours most days.
So what we got here? Looks like the action's on Andrew, and he's reaching for chips. We haven't seen him limp, so I presume he's coming in with a raise.
Raise.
There we go.
40,000.
40,000.
Raise all in.
Fion's all in. Fion's pretty short stacked, I think, compared to the rest of the table.
Fault.
One would imagine.
Dean folds, John folds.
Count.
We're still 200.
Andrews for a count.
So it might be seen if Andrew. We might be getting this all wrong. You know, we might have been just genuinely getting a whole bunch of crap.
257. Fault.
No, so
Wrong
he
again.
doesn't always have it.
Your ante, please.
That's quick. No? Yes, but I reached the fire. Yeah. I think you only missed 2 hands.
So, action's on Mario, who is the short stack at the table. Under 200,000, and he's decided this is his moment. Oh, Fion looks like he's got a decision to make.
Fault. 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 Fault.
It's all the way around.
One in a row. Mario's got 2.
Yep. Well, all helps. Brings him back over 200,000. Still the shortest stack at the table, but
Well, even at 200,000, you know, he's got enough chips to come over the top of a razor if he's asking a serious enough question rather than
yeah.
be faced with a guy that's just has to call him. So like, you know, the blinds and the antes for his stack is when the blinds and the antes for his stack is huge.
Big one,
Yeah.
please. Fault. Fault.
You And interesting enough, if Mario wins this, he'll probably be the only Italian poker player with any money.
He's from Slovakia.
Raise to
Yeah, that's close
44,000.
enough.
Fold. We raise all in.
It's probably the same thing.
He's gone all in again. And Steen had raised this one up, so it's not a straightforward decision here. So if he hadn't have done this last time, Steen probably would have had
Exactly,
to
yeah.
automatically call now, but I wonder if he's thinking about the
Fold.
hand he lost with the 8s versus 9s.
Okay, you
and
have a
thinking
new
about
Sure,
blind
he's thinking
level,
about
and
it.
this
Yeah.
is going to be 4,000,
Still thinking
blinds are
about it
15
tomorrow.
and 20,000, and you're going to have a new dealer. Ant is 4,000, blinds are 15, 30,000. Would like to hold?
we
Merci beaucoup.
short delay while they change dealers. Back in action.
Didn't say, probably, I don't know.
So there's the chip counts at the moment. Steen's still got over 1 million chips, 1.15 million chips. And John, 865, and Ovleen, 742. Henrik, 635. And then Fionn, Andrew, and Mario, both, well, all three of them, just over 300,000, which is almost half the average.
Small blind, big blind. Big blind.
And
Three,
it's
15, 30.
15 big blind stacks.
You know, this tournament has opened right up in the last half hour or so.
Yep.
And it looks like Steen and Hendrik might run away with the thing.
Fold. 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 All in.
So
Then
the side event here had 71 players, and entry is closed now for that one this afternoon. There's another one at 8
Call.
o'clock this evening.
Call all in.
It's
All in and call.
€100, €120 turbo. We've lost a player on an outer table as well. I've just been informed. 13 players left. 630,000 is the average stack. And Mario has just hit his 9, 8-9 against the ace-10 of Olveen. 4 on the turn. And a jack on the river, I mean Mario doubles up.
Well, you couldn't begrudge it to him, could you?
So there we go. We were talking about Mario. He was down to less than 200,000 not so long ago, and that was a 638,000 chip pot. Actually, probably slightly more than that, I think.
2 alls in,
1,000
and all in gets called and gets a lucky double up. And
306.
Where you go. 8-9 suited looks pretty though, doesn't it?
Yes.
yeah, falling for that many.
So, do you have a hand that you class as your lucky hand, Porik, that you remember with fond memories and love to look down at, other than obviously aces or kings? But
No,
no,
This is
they're
yours.
all the same. You either win with them or you lose.
And this.
no superstitions at all.
No, so I'm lucky to be superstitious. No, it's a hard enough game without being burdened with superstitions as well. I mean, superstition equals minus EV.
15. One more, please.
You'd be surprised about how many players do have these weird superstitions and things like that. And
Oh yeah, there's some like Savinder Sunar is one of the most superstitious guys around.
Yeah?
Oh, he's unreal. You know, there's lucky numbers and lucky hotel rooms, room numbers and lucky phone numbers.
Fold.
You know, we were in Dublin Airport one day, going over
Yeah.
to play some TV event somewhere, and I bought a nail clippers in the airport, and Surinder said, "Oh, that's a very good move." He said, because he said long nails are very unlucky. You know, he meant it, and then
yeah,
but 2 minutes later, we haven't said anything else, and then he finally said, "Especially the feet."
Very slowly.
No.
Fold.
I mean, you probably know Surinder well enough to know that he's not hacking the maggot here.
no. He's, so, Olvin's moved all in here. He just doubled Mario up, and
Raise from Steen.
yeah, Steen's raised and Olvin's moved all in. So
430.
Steen's folded a couple of times to
430.
re-raise all ins, and he lost the.
We're back to the old dynamic.
Yeah.
You call the guy because he's just doubled another guy up.
Yep. And he doubled Olvin up originally as well. So he's thinking back. Last time Olvin had the 9s and Steen had the 8s, so he's
Oh,
he's showing him a bit of emotion now. Oh, he's talking him into show. What's we got? King, Queen, and 10 something. Ace 10 was it? I couldn't quite see, so.
well, there was a little bit of emotion there from Steen. It's,
Yeah.
you
Frustration.
know, you got to understand that this is a huge tournament for these guys, and
Yeah.
you know, it's prestigious
450,
title,
20.
a whole bunch of money. You know, it's the kind of money that everybody can relate to.
Yeah,
You know, I much prefer people playing poker like for the rent, than,
Yeah.
than for another apartment block. You know, and Steen he looked like he had his name on this tournament.
Yeah, for a while back, he must have dropped below $1 million now, has he?
I'd imagine so.
Just over still, according to our chip counts here. But
Fold.
Which means he could have anything.
yeah,
You know, he's gone from having a double a final table stack to having just a little over a final table stack.
yeah.
Raise to 65k.
Average at the final table would be about 900,000, I think, if my maths is correct.
You know, I'm sure half an hour ago Steen was thinking about a top 3 finish, and he may still well have a top 3 finish, but
Yeah. Well, we've got another big pot brewing here. Mario's
Come
raised
on.
to 65,000.
Raise to all in.
Olvin's called, and Fion's moved all in.
Fold.
And it's only 240,000 for Mario to call. There's 500,000 in the middle already. So now Olvin kind of... Does he have to call with any 2 here? Porig almost?
how much has he put in?
He's already put in 60 odd. There's nearly 500,000 in the middle, and it's 240,000 to call. So if he had a good enough hand to call the raise...
What is his chip stack?
Well, it's a lot of his chips, yeah.
750,000, he would. No, he doesn't have to, but you know, he could easily have something like ace jack or a pair of 8s or something here, and
No, he doesn't. Folds.
well, Fian did look fairly happy during all of that.
Well, I suppose he I wonder if he thought he was going to get called because he didn't have that many chips more than what the raise was.
Well, the squeeze play is playing quite well here today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's rare we've not seen the squeeze get through, isn't it? Power poker.
Fold.
You know, you're far more likely to get called with on a squeeze
Raise
these days
65K.
than you would have, you know, a few years ago. And then,
Yeah.
well, everybody's onto it now.
Yeah.
Then everybody started doing it, and they started calling guys, but
Fold.
started putting guys on a squeeze.
Yeah, it's kind of cyclic, I suppose. Some of the things in poker, because like we were talking about the raises earlier, that they've gradually got smaller and smaller, but they can't get any smaller now. So does that mean people switching it up, they'll start to get a bit bigger again in the future? Do you think, or do you think it's going to stay?
I haven't a clue. Just throw in a bunch of chips and get on with it.
Here.
No, I think the min raise is here to stay.
Okay, so John's off to the other table, which means they must have lost another player, so we must be down to 12 now in total, so
30K.
edging ever closer to the final table.
I got him back soon. I don't have a lot of money to cut the cover over the years anyway. True.
Fold. Fold.
It's going to get a bit tense here. Like I know we were saying earlier that you know, you shouldn't be too influenced with getting to the final table unless, you know, there's significant change in money. But
Fold.
you know,
For a lot of these players, it's going to mean a lot to them, though, isn't it?
oh, exactly, yeah. You know, I don't blame them. You know, there are a lot of things in poker that, you know, guys know. I mean, guys know that you're not supposed to tighten up too much on the bubble, that's a good time to be making chips. But knowing it and doing it are two different things.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure, yeah.
You know, some guys can talk a great game of poker in the bar.
Yep.
You know, and they'll be right.
Yeah.
But you put them back in the same situation
At the
when they
table.
haven't got 6 points in them at the table, and there's a camera looking at them, and all of a sudden it's
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's the same, but I know if you get 3 darts in the treble 20, you score a 180. But I know that, but it doesn't mean I can do it.
I'm not sure it's the same, but thanks for sharing it with us anyway.
Fold.
I know, like Andy Black has a theory that
Raise.
the hand before the break or the last few hands of the night are the best times to win chips.
Yeah.
Fold.
You should be more likely to get through with a bluff just before the break
Yeah.
than afterwards. He does test this theory to the limit.
I've not seen Andy for a while, actually.
I think
He kind of stopped playing as much for a bit, didn't he? He spent a lot of time with his family.
he was at the IPO, I believe, in Galway.
Fold.
He was at the World Series last year, but only came into town for the last couple of events,
Ah, right, okay.
which is probably good for Andy, because, you know, Vegas isn't good for Andy's head. It's all a little bit too intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, a fresh Andy playing the main event is quite liable to go deep. But
Yeah.
an Andy who's been has played 42 tournaments in, you know, in 38 days.
Yeah, it's a lot. Because he was playing everything, wasn't he?
He was double teaming and all sorts of stuff.
Why do?
Do you play all the mixed games and stuff like that as well, Porrig, or do you just stick to the Hold'em and Omaha stuff?
Just to hold him in Omaha.
No limit, 7-2, triple draw, egg, whatever.
No,
it is.
well, I intended to get, like, I used to play a lot of Dealer's Choice. I mean, Dealer's Choice was the main game in Dublin for years, like, and there was a lot of it in Paris for about 10 years, but then it died out.
Still very popular in the UK, Dealer's Choice.
Raise 66K.
I like it. It's
Super stud and 6-card Omaha and all that kind of stuff.
Fold.
It's great to see the mixed games coming back into fashion, and you know, there was a danger that you know, TV was going to kill all the less popular games.
action again, and it's Steen who's been picked on again.
Fold.
I wonder if people are noticing he's folding a lot to re-raises. Steen's raised and Mario's moved all in.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun.
No. The only time we've seen him call one of these re-raises is when
When he had the 8, yeah.
yeah, he was behind. He's folded. This is about third or fourth time he's been re-raised.
Fold.
You know, he's going through a little bit of a period like Henrik went through, where, you know, it looks like you got the whole thing at your mercy, and then you can't do anything right.
Neither of them look particularly happy on that side of the table at the moment, yet they've still got good chip stacks. They've more reason to be happy with the amount of chips they've got than anybody else. As you say, you were talking about momentum earlier, the ones that have got smaller chip stack but have increased it feel happier than the ones that have a bigger stack, but it was bigger.
Well, I remember Scott Gray giving Jack Fox a pep talk, you know, when there was 40 or 50 guys left in the World Series at one stage, and Jack had lost half his stack, but he still had a decent stack. And Scott said to him, well, just take 3 deep breaths, tell yourself you've just doubled up from half that stack, and go back in and play.
Yeah, good advice. Here comes
Raise.
Mario's
You know,
very
poker's like anything else in life. I mean, you can't change the past, but the future's an option.
Yep.
Fold.
Haven't seen a flop for some time. I'm not going to see one here either. Mario raises and everybody else folds.
I like this Mario guy. He's got a bit of style to him, hasn't he?
I don't think you can't not like people called Mario though, can you? Just one.
I wasn't all that keen on Mario Andretti.
No.
I think I lost money betting on him. But I think he's certainly been the most lively player at this table, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, Boris Becker was interviewed once, and he was asked, "What makes a champion?" And he very interestingly said, "It's the ability to play like it means nothing when it means everything."
Yeah.
And
I think I've heard that quote before, so.
you probably heard it from me. I've been stealing it for years, but you know, but you know, it's certainly it's probably even more applicable to poker than it is to tennis.
Okay, Andrew's moved all in here, and Steen had raised under the gun, so this is really picking on Steen. It's unusual to see, is it, the chip leader getting picked on so much?
Well, I think they're getting the clue that Steen may be raising a little light after all the reversals, and
Yeah. The good news for Ireland is that on the other table, there's only 1 Swede left and 5 Irish players.
nice oh, good stuff. Nice one there by Andrew.
Yep.
In fairness, I think you pointed out that Steen was getting battered a little bit, that the Lilliputtons were having a go with the Giants.
So it's on the other table we've got Luke Daly, Aidan O'Reilly.
Has Luke Daly still got the 15 million?
Yep. And then Oliver Adgers from Sweden, Niall Dowds, Tony Martin or Martin Tony, and John Hannafy are on the other table. So 5 Irish guys and a Swede. And of course here we've got
Sounds like a country song.
a Belgian, a Dane, 2 Irishmen, a Norwegian and a Slovakian.
Fantastic, isn't it?
So it's
the Regency Hotel.
It's 7-5 Ireland at the moment. Ireland 7, the rest of the world 5.
All in.
All in from
Oh, somebody's hit the drink.
Norway.
Fold.
Oh, good man.
Fold. Fold.
Steen's big blind has now
Yep.
become the focus of attention.
Yeah. You better not put his drink down. Somebody will be stealing that next.
Should have a suitcase under the table. This is guys are behaving like a school of sharks.
Yeah.
Do you get schools of sharks, or is that Wales? Well, close enough.
Yeah.
Just a
We'll
little
take
bit
it
of
for
blood in the
today.
water, and they're really piling it into this guy. I mean, if it was a boxing match, it'd be stopped.
Fold.
You know, it is way more fun looking at these without the whole cards, isn't it?
Fold. All in.
Well, Steen's not had enough. I'm going all in now.
842.
From the small blind. I'm not raising any more. And then bluffing me.
That is one way of stopping guys coming over the top of you.
Yeah.
So you can call or you can fold. You're not going to raise me
Yeah.
out of it. Well, but sometimes you just have to.
The only trouble is there, you win a little tiny pot every time they fold, but if you've not got the goods and they wake up with it, you lose your whole stack, don't you?
I didn't say it was foolproof. It's good crack though.
Yeah, yeah.
Up to you.
They're telling each other their tales of woe there, I think, Henrik and Steen.
Could be a long
These,
conversation.
Raise to 60k.
Well, it's amazing. We were looking at this table and thinking that the real dynamic here was what would happen between Henrik and Steen.
Yeah.
And I was saying that Henrik would be quite happy to take his 800,000 and move on to the final table.
Yeah.
Be quite happy to get there with about 6 now, I'd say.
Yeah. See the chip counts if we get them up on screen. And Henrik's down to less than 500,000 now, according to this. Steen's back below 1 million, so he's lost 600,000 chips since he arrived at the feature table.
I think there's only been one showdown.
Other than the all-ins that knock people out and double people up.
Oh yeah, them. No, I mean from Steen.
Oh yes, yes, just that hand that was.
Well, he doubled up.
He lost half his chips in the one pot against Olveen, and then the rest has just been where he's been raised and re-raised.
Yeah.
Fold. Fold. Raise to 66k.
Yeah.
Fold. Raise all in.
Oh, they've done it to him again.
Can you
Oh.
stack, please?
Mario has moved on. Oh, Steen's called this time.
All in and call.
He's got it, has he? Look like. Yeah, he's got the kings this time. Against the ace-10, and it's Mario was second in chips on the table at the start of this hand, so this could get him right back up if he can avoid the ace. It's as safe as it comes for the kings. 4, so just the ace to avoid on the river, and Steen will take out Mario and move back to nearly 1.5 million chips. And there we go. 3 pairs, always good.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario, he's got you covered.
Sorry to see Mario going. He was.
The rest of the world are taking each other out.
Not the thousands, because I can see just.
You know, Mario has been like a breath of fresh air at this table, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So, it's a shame. He looks a bit disappointed, but playing quite aggressive with the ace-10 there against the only person on the table that can knock him out. But do you think it was the right play, or would you
No,
have done the
I
same?
don't think so. I think it was getting to the stage where Steen was going to call.
A frustrated call. Could have
Yeah.
even called with ace-jack or something like
Exactly, yeah. He could have called with one of the hands you'd have been safe enough against
Yeah,
like
earlier.
half an hour ago.
727. 727. Would you?
They're just
or
double
you
checking
have
'cause
one?
it's-
I
they
just
weren't
need to
quite
count
evenly
the
stacked.
2000, please. 20k, I mean. No. Yes, you have
It's a hell of a pot from Steen for an awful lot of reasons. I mean, he looked like a boxer that was
He has
getting
over
body
500.
punched to death.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, no, he's
I think Mario
Definitely
was
got- definitely had him
you know,
covered.
I know it's short-handed and that, but I think it had got to the stage that they should have left Steen alone for a while. Cause
Yeah.
it was,
yeah. Don't poke a wounded tiger with a stick.
unless you like being bitten.
Yeah. So here we go. 5 left now here on the feature table, and on. What's going on here on this thing? I'll see how's left on the outer table. Still 6 on the outer table, so we've got 11 players left in total.
Thanks.
2 more to go before we reach the final table. There will be a dinner break at the end of this level, so we've got maybe
No.
10 minutes or
40
so
more
left of this level, and then we'll be off the air for an hour.
You think Mario was listening in on the Boris Becker thing?
Everything's yours.
You never know.
Besides Auntie, yes.
Oh, look, he's happier now, isn't he, old Steen?
Oh yeah, it's all grand.
Keep pushing.
I keep pushing, but they keep pushing. pushing. I think he said I'd taken enough shit. I was going to
Yeah.
wait. I wasn't going to race without the goodies anymore.
Yeah, but you got to respect the man too, because he had no fear. So
It was just a matter of time.
Seems to have woken Henrik up as
Oh,
well.
no, that's Tynan said it was just a matter of time. I think we got that one right, that he'd finally decided he was going to stop racing without the
I mean,
goods.
every other time he had the kings and he was folding. This time he was going to call with them.
Yeah, but I'll give them a spin once.
Yeah. So Henrik's raised now to 75,000 and wins the pot. So
What are they playing, 6 and 5, is it?
yeah, 5 on here and 6 on the outer table. So
Well, there's nobody very short in here, is there? This could be a little bit cagey.
yeah, what's the 439,000 for Fionn, 317 for Andrew. Blinds are 1530, so just over 10 big blinds for Andrew, the short stack.
All in.
And he's moved all in.
I was just about to say he doesn't look like the man. The one we've seen, he's not a man to panic.
No. I don't think he's the kind of guy who's afraid to put his chips in either. He's
Oh, no. I think he's just got down to the 10 big blinds, and that appears to be his line in the sand.
Yep.
I just put it out.
Not the worst line to have in the sand.
But I have an Irish flag. I'm Belgian.
Somebody else complaining they have an Irish flag.
That's Steen, I think, saying I've got an Irish flag, but I'm actually Belgian. We will have it changed, Steen, don't worry. We won't tell the Hender mob the wrong country.
Well, maybe somebody should tell him that they changed the flag when he passed 4 times in a row after a race. We changed it to Italian.
Isn't it the French that keep surrendering?
I think the Italians, you find, are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the French don't actually hang around to surrender, they just run away. Why do you think Paris is so beautiful?
I like Paris.
Well, it never got bombed. I mean, the first bomber took off in Germany. The boys put their hands up.
Fold.
It's one of the good things about doing the live streams from Winamax. We get to come to Paris twice every year for 4 or 5 days. Spend €15 on a pint of lager, but it's all worth it.
Thinking in the wrong place, pal. Paris must be the most extreme city in the world, you know. Like I live 15 minutes walk from Bastille, and along that walk you can pay anything from €4 to €13 for a pint.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is the €4 pint is a better pub than the €15. And that's Paris for you.
Yeah, and there are different prices depending on how you ask for it.
Oh, did you see that cafe ad? The ad outside the cafe for coffee.
No, I don't think so.
I think it went viral a while back. It was like cafe 750 or something. Cafe s'il vous plaît. Like €4 and bonjour monsieur cachet s'il vous plaît 150.
That's quite good.
Well, we've got the address of the place. We're going to go. We're going to go there and have a coffee someday to see what the crack is. Well, for the French, it's great.
Yeah. Teach them some manners.
It just sounded like it was just a man who just had enough.
Yeah. Breaking point. It's like that guy Michael Douglas in the film, isn't it? Falling Down or whatever it's called.
30, yes. 30K. It's okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Fold. Fold.
You can see from the body language, Steen is.
Yeah, he's happy. He's rocking, raising it up again.
66K. Fold.
See if I care.
Yeah. Go on, go all in on me again.
Well, this would be a good time to go in because I think he might be back to plan A again.
Call.
Oh, Alvin's taking a different route here. We haven't seen a flop for a while without it being an all-in pre-flop, so
Interesting.
Ace 8-2 with 2 diamonds. So let's see what happens here. Alvin's check to Steen. Steen going to follow his pre-flop raise up with another bet.
That's 72K.
So Steen's bet 72,000 and Alvin is going to fold. So it's definitely on the way back up, Steen. Above and beyond where he started the feature table.
Well, you just see the way he flicked in the cards
yeah,
there.
like
20 minutes ago, there was
oh.
slammed down on the table.
Don't worry. It's okay.
Seem to be quite relaxed now. There's a bit more chat going on, isn't there? Now they're down to 5. Certainly from Alvin and Steen. So this table is the international table. It's
Fold.
3-2 to the rest of the world, but there's only 1 Swede left on the other table and 5 Irish guys.
66K. Fold.
Well, we should just ignore this table altogether.
We'll probably swap the tables at the break anyway, so we'll have a look at the other table then until it gets down to a final.
Call. 66. Fold. 2 players.
I like this Alvin, his whole body language and the way he throws the chips in and everything. He always looks very, very concerned.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, is he just a warrior by nature?
Yeah. Well, I suppose if as long as you keep it the same, if you either look very concerned or very happy, or like one or the other all the time, then people makes it difficult for them to get a read on you, I suppose.
Fold.
And there he goes. He follows that one up with a bet on the flop and wins.
No bluff. No bluff.
Luke's giving his chips back now. He's only got 1.2 million. He's
No bluff.
down 13.8 million.
I don't know. It was a shitty flop for me.
Well, I know if he wins, it'll still be all the same.
Yeah.
Bit of a colour up going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it dinner break after this? Yes, dinner break at the end of this level. Is it 5 minutes? How long is that?
I was never a great fan of the dinner break.
Yeah, I would prefer just to carry on playing and eat at the table, to be honest. But
And the final table is with
Well,
Yes, 9.
you know, if you're playing a big tournament, I mean, the last thing you want to do after 6 or 8 hours of it is to go and have a meal. I mean, there is something about the digestion taking blood away from the brain or something. And I need all the blood. I need all the blood I can get to the brain. Well,
Call.
Footballers don't go and have a steak dinner at half time, do they?
no.
Fold.
Yeah, we're at it.
No raise. 2 pairs.
Good for you now. Remember that.
Well, you know, the dinner break in European poker was a French invention.
Check.
Oh, look, we've got a limp on the button from Olveen here.
Wow.
Check.
That's a new one we haven't seen today. And they checked
That's
it
like
down.
finding an old half crown.
Yeah, straight on the board. Who's got the queen?
You got to represent.
Who's-
it. You
yeah.
got to represent it anyway.
Bet 60k.
Yeah, I might be kicking myself out.
You got to price this one right.
Well, he's bet 60.
Well,
It wasn't that.
it's
That's pretty much a pot-sized bet almost, because it was limp pre-flop.
So it's quite a decent bet. Now the guy's got to call 60 to win 30,
Yeah,
and to get his 30 back.
and then he folds. I wonder if he's going to show. No.
Shitty card, right?
So we've got 3 minutes left of this level, and then we'll be on dinner break. And when we come back, it starts to get very expensive. 20,000, 40,000 it'll be after the break with a 5k ante. At the moment, it's still 1530 with a 4k ante. And no one's in this pot so far.
Raise.
Fion's decided to raise it up on the button.
72k. Fold.
Henrik folds, and Steen is in the big blind, and he folds. It's a pot for Fion. Might get, we're going to get at least one more hand in, maybe two, depends how quick they go.
You know, I'd imagine a lot of these guys who are, not hugely experienced, might well prefer to kick on to the final table before the dinner break.
Yeah, yeah. Although maybe if they think on the dinner break, maybe they can speak to one of their more experienced friends and get some advice on how to play this part of the tournament. So there's that option there for them too.
Few players have the space, I use it.
Well, my advice would be about 3 pints
I like good space.
and come back in firing.
Up to now, 30k. Fold.
I remember when I won my way into the first big tournament I ever played. I used to play in a home game with the Fagans, and I didn't really know Don Fagan that well, but I'd met him once or twice, and he phoned me up and gave me a good hour over the phone on what to do when I got there and how to play and all this kind of stuff. It was really good advice from somebody who didn't really know me, just knew I was going over to play a big tournament and had no experience
He's a
of
lovely
it.
fella, Don.
Yeah, gentleman.
Don was on to, players like Don Fagan and Jimmy Langan. We're on to how to play tournament poker in Ireland, about 3 or 4 years before anybody else figured it out. I mean,
Yeah,
all the little tournament strategies, which everybody knows now because you can read it in a book. But back then, guys had to figure it out. And
yeah.
so like Don and Jimmy Langan were like light years ahead,
30.
as was sort of Surinder in England.
Fold.
Didn't Scott Gray? Was it Scott Gray and Jessie May wrote the book, or Scott Gray and Julian Gardner wrote a book that they put on sale for quite an expensive price?
I wrote it.
Oh, you I remember Scott Gray telling me a story years ago, but the thing is, when you listen to a story from Scott Gray or whatever, it tends to be in a bar, which means you tend to have had a few drinks, so you only remember half the story.
What did you have in that hand?
But, wasn't it about them winning a tournament or something that they...
Yeah, it was about a tournament Scott won online. It was just about, it's been miles out of date now.
Yeah.
But it was about power poker and, strategies for... It was basically to teach guys who were gamblers who wanted to play poker. How to play a poker tournament without really knowing how to play poker.
Yeah. Oh, we got all in from Andrew here. On the button. Fion's in the big blind. Big sigh from Fion. And folds, so Andrew gets it through again.
Well, he's going to enjoy his dinner. He kind of needed that.
Yeah. Right. And that's it, I think. Everybody's going for dinner for an hour, so we'll be back when it restarts to take it to a conclusion here at the Regency Hotel. Big thanks to Pádraig Parkinson, who's been sat on the stream now for 6 hours or so, and unfortunately he's got to leave us, but it's been great having you here, Pádraig. And
popular demand.
Thanks very much. And
thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Safe trip back to Paris, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Cheers,
So back in an hour, folks.
Okay. 35.
Where can we see chip count?
35. Just a minute.
Please.
35. 35. Okay. Yeah, just put them on.
One more?
No, just these. And then, how much do you have there? You have a fiver. One more. And then you have 5. 5 is okay. 5,000. Just a minute. $10, please. Give me by
Good?
yes, perfect. And now
We can ask for the chip count.
yours you want?
Everyone.
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll ask. It must be somewhere on the
I will
TV.
ask it myself.
Okay,
Over there?
yes, over there. It must be on the screen somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, if somebody, yes.
Oh, we'll take it.
This is it. 300.
Yeah,
36.
300, 320, 336?
Yeah,
Okay.
336.
330, 35, okay.
Yeah, 335.
Where are these from?
This one.
Okay. 335 and 5 is
340.
340, okay?
Yes, exactly. 340. That's
Where
400.
can you see the chip count?
That's 400
Online,
and this. Yeah,
Online.
without
Yeah,
that.
Declan, are you in on that seat? Are you in on that table?
Yeah, without this.
Sorry?
Without this is 340 without this, is it?
No, because these are 20Ks.
Yeah, I know. So it's 400k.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, spot on, sorry. Fucking cheaps.
Okay, so you take
Perfect.
this and that, and we'll leave this on here.
Yeah.
And
Do you want to rack them up for me?
yeah, sure,
Thank
I
you.
will.
And we're going to do a chip count on all the players, okay?
Okay, I'll do it. You don't want me
I'm
to
gonna
count?
I'm gonna do it with you, okay?
Yeah.
You can call them out, the player's name out as you count them, and I'll put them in.
Okay. Do you want this? Where do you want this?
Just around here.
Leave the table. Now, here
Anyway,
we
there
go.
is grand. Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks very much.
Let's go, do it.
I'll start up this end, right? You can just call out there when you have it done, okay?
Okay. $1,005,070.
Sorry, honey?
1 million. I have it. Do you want to write it?
Yeah. Which seat number? 7, is it? Yeah, that's him, yeah.
Yeah, that's that guy.
1 million.
1,500,000
Yeah.
and what they say? And 70.
And 70.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, hon.
Okay. Next. $200. Now next one. 425.
425. Is
Yes.
that Christian Henry?
This is Christiansen, Henry Christiansen.
Perfect. Thanks, hon.
400. 425. Okay.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah. It's up in the system anyway there, mate.
One.
Yeah.
120.
Yeah, sounds good, mate.
Three. Yes, and now this one, Fionn Sherry, Sherry Fionn, has 440k.
440k?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you need the other table as well? They did it. Okay.
Attention please players, the next tournament starts tonight, just under 15 minutes time. These are €60 turbo with the button turbo. Anybody wishing to play the turbo event will make their way up to the registration desk now.
well.
Dana, you're just gonna hang on here for 2 minutes. So I'm literally just gonna get Declan to
Yeah,
give me a hand bring
sure.
the chips up, okay?
So that's 865.
865.
885.
885. That's what.
885.
I can't count. I'm a dealer.
Perfect.
Of course you can
Well
count.
done. Thanks very much, Gus.
Is it updated now?
It's all updated. All chip counts are updated.
Yeah.
It'll take 90 seconds to refresh.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
sure,
here.
we have to get you to leave this area, so only. Okay, just
Yeah, I'm
let
here.
nobody in here, okay?
Yes, yes. Nobody.
Any players wishing to play the €60 Turbo Win the Button event? The tournament will be starting in just over 6 minutes time. Registration desk is open. Any player already registered, we'd like to welcome them to take their seats.
What's glorious? What? What's happening?
You go for dinner.
Me? I'm going for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave this here, so.
Okay, so we have a funds in here, or the cash came in, or the turbo tournament, so anybody over the pump, there you go.
Yes, I'm gonna leave this here, okay? Okay.
Okay, players in the Win the Button tournament, we're going to draw for the seat on table number 49. Dealers in the Win the Button tournament, the button has been drawn to seat number 7. Dealers in the window button turn. If you have 3 or more players on your table, you can start to prepare the deck. Okay, dealers in the ACOP turbo can begin. The blinds are 25, 50.